Oh wow, that card is worth that much? What's going on, guys? It's Steven, aka Mr. SC, back again with a interesting, cool video. Today I'm gonna have a look with you guys on the top 10 most valuable cards that came out in 2022. So in either Brilliant Stars or Astral Radiance. So those are the two sets that have dropped in the year of 2022, where today is the 30th of June. So we're 6 months into the year. Half the sets have been, or standard sets, have been released. Pokemon Go set is upon the horizon, drops tomorrow over here. But I wanted to have a look at the most valuable cards that you can get, or that we have available right now from the sets from 2022. Let me know in the comments down below if we want to do this video again in 6 months time and do an overview of the entire year 2022, see how the prices have changed in comparison to today's video. And potentially, if you like this concept, we could also do it like from previous years. We could have a look at the year 2021, see how what cards are in the top 10. In the top 10 from what sets. Could be very interesting to see, interesting content. Let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's get into the top 10 of the 2022 cards. Okay, I am over on TCG Player. They have an article about this, and I definitely wanted to cover this. Now, I did see that after writing this article, prices have slightly shifted. Obviously, prices are always changing of Pokemon cards. That is a disclaimer I'm going to put here at the start of the video, guys. Pricing might change. If you see this video in a month's time, pricing might have, the price of a card in this video might have dropped, might have gone up. Don't quote me on pricing, because this is the price as we have today. The current price, I do not know what the price will be in 3 months' time, in a week's time. We don't know about that. This is what the price is today, what the value is according to TCG Player. So let's just dive into it. And on that topic that I was just mentioning, number 10 was Arceus Gold V-Star. But in the meantime of this article coming out and the price is changing, number 9, the Starmie V, is actually lower in price than the actual number 10 according to this article. But we are going to start with the actual number 10 on the list, which is Starmie V, the alternate art trainer gallery card from the set Astral Radiance. This is an absolute beautiful card. I love this card. I definitely love this card. Haven't pulled it yet. Hopefully I will be able to. Current market value / pricing according to TCG Player is $35 to $36. Now let's have a look at the price history as well. We can actually follow along what the price has been doing since it got released with Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance obviously dropping in May, and we see that it started out around a $40-ish mark at release. So that is definitely a positive sign if you ask me. That's only $4 to $5 difference than the current market value. But let's have a look at the pricing, what it has been doing. It actually started at $40-ish. It dipped because obviously when the set releases, cards are at the highest pricing most of the times, and then they start coming down. When more product gets opened, more of these cards get onto the market, more offers, more availability means more or less price. Now, that is just standard. That is just a standard way of like pricing and a market system. The more you have available, the lower the price is going to get. The less you have available, the more the price goes up. The market value dropped as low as $32.69. So $32.50 was its low point after the release, and it then started climbing. Very interesting. Started climbing even further than it was upon release. So at the start of June, this card was getting close to $50, sitting at $47.50, so $47.50, and then it started steadily dropping again until today, or right now, it's sitting at $36-ish, and or it's actually a different price than the article says right now, maybe this is the actual market price today, and this is just one of the past days. But the current market value is around $35 to $36. So that is a very interesting graphic, definitely because you saw the dip after release, and then it went up higher than the release price, and then it started steadily coming down again. So you might wonder, like, why did it spike up? I don't know, maybe people were not paying attention to the card, and all of a sudden the price started picking some steam, and people were noticing that the price was going up, so maybe they were ditching it, and therefore the price came down again. So that's very interesting things in the market, something you can't really predict, but it's definitely funny that it went up after the release. Like, closely after the release it dipped, and then it went back up. That's a very, very strange phenomenon to see, because it then started coming down again. So what will this card do? Will it continue to drop? Probably it will slowly start declining over the next weeks. Definitely, I think it will definitely start dropping. So if you are holding on to this card and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to sell, maybe it's time to sell it and pick it up in like a month or two for less. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm just making assumptions here. The next card, and the actual number 9 on the list, is the Arceus Gold card. The Arceus V-Star Gold card, I should say. And this one is from Brilliant Stars. So this is a set that came out first of the year. So this one has a little bit longer of a range in terms of time, because it came out in February, I believe. When did it drop? Oh no, April. Wow, did Brilliant Stars come out in April? I feel like it didn't. Why is this only April? I don't know. Did Brilliant Stars come out in April? Let me check. Okay, Brilliant Stars came out in February, so my suspicion was right. Sorry for the break there for just that little bit. But I'm not sure why it starts in April here, why I can't see the full graphic. Oh, stupid Steven. It says 3 months right here. So if you put it at 6 months, we can actually see the starting date. Good one, Steven. Okay, so it came out in February. Brilliant Stars did drop in February, and the starting price of this card was around $57, which is pretty high if you ask me. It went up, wow, it went up as high as $73.50, and then it steadily started dipping. It had a little bit of a blip here when actual Astral Radiance came out. That's interesting, around that period. But it then started dropping further onto its current market value, which is about $38.50, which is a respectable amount for a card that's been out for like 4 months now. That's a decent value to hold over that period of time, or after that period of time. So it started declining, and I don't see this card starting to rise anytime soon. It's probably going to take a lot longer for this card to start rising, if it will ever rise a lot, because $40 or $38, $39 is still a reasonable value to have for a new card. Then we move into number 8, which is actually the real number 8, sitting at $42. It is the Origin Form Palkia V-Star, the gold card, which is another one of Astral Radiance. So we go back to Astral Radiance for number 8, and let's have a look at the pricing history, and we see a very high starting point, dude. Its highest value was around $67, which is really a lot of money. And then it came down, crashed down, to be honest. It really crashed down pretty hard. At the start of the month, it was sitting at $41, $41.42, which is actually still the value. Like, as of June, the market value of this card has not really changed, so that's definitely very interesting to see. But I believe that the Palkia V-Star was actually very playable in the TCG game, so that's probably a factor in this card holding its value so well. But it is holding its value over an entire month, which is very, very interesting to see. Astral Radiance still the latest set, basically. Pokemon Go is dropping, as I mentioned earlier, but it's not a... It is a real set, it's just a special set. but that's besides the point. It's not going to affect this Origin Form Palkia V-Star price too much, I think. We move to number 7, which is actually very close to the Palkia. I had to double check there what the value was, but the Palkia is sitting at 42-ish, and the Arceus alternate art is sitting at 43, so very close to each other, these two cards, which is very cool to see because Arceus V is from Brilliant Stars, so we move back to Brilliant Stars again. Let's have a look at the pricing history, and we see a steady decline ever since the drop of the set. We're at 3 months again, Steven. Okay, but the results are the same, so that is very interesting. So the results from 3 months and 6 months are basically the same, that it started at its high point and then steadily declined. You see a few blips here, which you can't really explain too much, but you see the overall team is a drop since release. This is a beautiful card, and if I'm not mistaken, this is also the card that's been used as the promo card for the Arceus V boxes, so that could definitely let the price drop a little bit, I'm assuming, because the card is pretty easily available in that regard. But it's currently sitting at $43-ish, which is still respectable. Like, this is a beautiful card, of course. That's why it's holding its value. And it's an alternate art. These cards are pretty hard to pull, guys. Like, alternate arts is a team on this top 10, and it's because they're just incredibly difficult to pull. Like, they're not flooded onto the market, guys. They're not flooded onto the market. Pricing is determined by the quantity of them around. Like, if there's not a lot to go around, then the price is high. That's what I said earlier. Let's move on because I'm starting to ramble. I'm getting off track here. We move to another alternate art, and it is Astral Radiance again. So we switch it up again from Brilliant Stars to Astral Radiance back again. We see the Husirian Sneasler V alternate art. Shocking that it's an alternate art, but we do make a huge jump, almost a $10 jump as we move closer to the top 5. We see a Husirian alternate art Sneasler V sitting at around $52 to $53, which is really a lot. And this is so interesting, guys. This is so interesting. We see a graphic of the pricing history, and the card has actually been going up. Like, ever since it released, since the set released, basically the overall theme is going up. Like, you can see that in the month of June, it started dipping a little bit, but it's close to $10 that it's dipped over a month, which is still a lot, to be honest. Like, still a lot. It doesn't look like it's dipping too much from this graphic, but $10 is still a significant drop. So I do expect this card to continue to drop. So if you're, again, holding on to this card, this one might be another one of these that could be interesting to flip. Like, sell it now and buy it back in like a month or two, or maybe even a month. I think this card will steadily drop. It's not going to drop by $10 overnight, but I do think it might just start dipping to like below $50 or something, maybe even towards the $40. Again, Astral Radiance is the latest set that came out. Pokemon Go is dropping. Gotta stop saying that Pokemon Go is dropping. It is gonna influence the market in terms of how much Astral is getting opened, because Pokemon Go is probably gonna take the spotlight. But that doesn't mean that Astral is not gonna get opened at all. That's totally not what's gonna happen. But I do think that this card, however, will steadily continue to drop ever so slightly. Not by a huge chunk. And, oh, these cards are so close to each other. Oh, actually, the Origin Form Palkia alternate art, what else, is actually sitting at a lower market value as of today than the Sneasler, which is mind-blowing to see that the Husirian Sneasler is actually that valuable, but it's sitting at 52.50, so it's kind of the same pricing as the Sneasler. Let's have a look. I love this card. It's a very great card. A very beautiful card. It's a legendary. It's the alternate art. What more do you want? But we see a totally different graphic from the Sneasler. Like, look at the difference. The Sneasler went up, and then ever so slightly down there at the end. Ever so slightly might be over exaggerating because it actually dropped $10, which is a significant amount. I said that when we had a look at the card. But this card, this Palkia, started out at $90, dude. 90. And then it steadily dropped, dude. Over the course of its release, it's dropped almost $40. Wow. But again, I do expect this card to continue to drop, as well as the Sneasler. I think a lot of the Astral Radiance cards haven't really set in at their market value, so I think a lot of these cards will continue to drop. Like, it's not going to be a ton, but it's going to continue to drop. Like, I definitely can see the team over the overall set Astral Radiance to keep dropping ever so slightly. Then we move into its counterpart, the Dialga origin form, and yes, you guessed it, it's another alternate art. This one is sitting a lot higher, is sitting higher than the Palkia, because it's actually sitting at $61-ish, which is a lot of money for a card from the latest set, dude. But again, we see the same team. It started at 140. Wow, that's a lot. I did not know that. That's so much, dude. Like, what a crash. What a crash. If it was actually going for around 140 at release, what a crash, dude. That's an $80 crash in like 2 months' time. Wow, that's so much, dude. But again, I do think that this card will follow the theme of the other Astral Radiance cards, even though it's an alternate art and they're really hard to pull and you can't find them that much. They are there, and the price will continue to dwindle ever so slightly. Like, Astral gets opened like probably every second that we talk, and you watch this video, somebody's opening up a pack of Astral. It's probably not that bad, but you know what I'm saying. There is a lot of Pokemon cards product getting opened right now, so a lot of these cards are getting new cards getting onto the market, and that it will, of course, there will always be people that pull this card and just sell it because they see that it's worth $60. Like, that's what's causing this drop. Like, there is enough of this card available to make it drop. We move into the top 3, and we finally move away from Astral and go back to Brilliance. Brilliance Stars makes the top 3, or starts the top 3, and it is, of course, your boy Charizard. The Charizard Rainbow Rare V-Star card from Brilliant Stars is sitting at number 3, and we make a huge leap. 105. Wow, we break the $100 with the top 3. The Charizard Rainbow is sitting at 105 to 106, which is crazy. The market value started at 172. Which, again, is a significant drop. Like, it's dropped around $70 since it released, which is a lot. Oh, sec. We were stupid again, and we were looking at 3 months. That is ridiculous that somebody actually was willing to pay $387 when this set released. If somebody actually paid that must feel bad right now, so, yeah. So after a couple days of the set being released, it was down to 184, which is probably more of a realistic view and price for this card. 184 down to 105, so that's an $80 decrease. Brilliant Stars came out this year, and there is a card in there which is worth $106, which is crazy. And Rainbow Rares are not easy to pull, but they're not terrible either. Like, they're not terrible. Like, I think I'm not sure what the pull rates are for rainbows versus alternate arts, but I think Rainbow Rares might actually be more easy to pull than alternate arts. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm messing that up, guys. Definitely let me know. And be gentle, please. We move into the top 2, and we go back to Astral. Astral coming back, swinging, dude. They're swinging. They're trying to hold up. Machamp V alternate art, if you watched my reveals on the channel when new cards or new information drops on the latest sets, on new information about Pokemon TCG related things, you know that I am not the biggest fan of this Machamp V alternate art, but it is the most valuable card in the Astral Radiance set. Yes, I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit. Brilliant Stars takes the crown at number 1, but the Machamp V is the most expensive card from Astral Radiance, which is still crazy. 116, dude. 116. Wow, that's a lot of money for a card in the latest set of the Pokemon TCG, dude. We see that it actually started at $50 upon release, so props to anybody who picked it up in the early stages. Normally, you don't want to pick up a card when the set drops. This is totally different. If you picked up the card at the release, you're a happy guy right now because you've basically more than duplicated your money. Like, this is ridiculous. And at its highest peak point, oh my god, dude. That's almost triple your money. If you picked it up at 50-ish and you could have sold it for 135, that is ridiculous. But it has steadily dropped off a little bit after reaching that high point, but it has maintained its value pretty well over the course of like 2 to 3 weeks, and it's sitting around that 116-ish dollar mark, and that is so much money for a card in the latest set, dude. Wow. And then we move into number 1. The Charizard is back. Of course it had to be a Charizard, guys. Brilliant Stars is all about the Charizards. Charizard V alternate art from Brilliant Stars, sitting at a whopping 170. 170. Wow, let's have a look. Like, I love this card too. Like, I'm definitely a fan. I love the Venusaur touch in the back. And let's have a look at the pricing. Let's put this to 6 months, and this is a very, very messed up graphic. So upon release, it was around 210, and then it dropped massively to 162, which is lower than its current value. So this is such a difficult one to predict, dude. Like, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. Now it's steadily, since April, it's actually steadily coming down. Like, very steadily coming down. So will it continue to drop? Potentially, but I don't think this card will dip too much. I don't think this card is going to all of a sudden be like $100 in 6 months' time. I don't think it will. I think this card, it's a Charizard. It will definitely maintain a base value. I don't think, if you could pick it up at 150 at one point, I think that's a good price. I don't think it's going to dip to like below 150. And if it does dip below 150, it's probably not going to go that far beyond 150 or below 150. So this card is holding a tremendous value in Brilliant Stars. Let's have a quick look and see how many cards of which set are in the top 10. So we have Brilliant Stars, 1, 2, 3, 4 Brilliant Stars and 6 Astral. So in terms of that, you could argue like you have to pick up Astral because there are more cards in there that are more valuable, that you have more option to pull. But the Arceus, what are you talking about? Lord Arceus, have mercy on me. The top 3 has 2 Brilliant Stars cards though. The Charizards. The 2 Charizards are in Brilliant Stars and they take up a huge number of value here. Like, combined, you can look at a value of 275 combined by just those 2 cards, which is great, dude. Like, do you want to pick up Brilliant Stars? Do you want to pick up Astral? This video is probably not going to make you any wiser whatsoever. Like, there is points for both sets. Like, you are not pulling, might be a bold statement, but the chances of you pulling the Charizard Alt and the Charizard V-Star Rainbow card in the same box is pretty much impossible. Okay, somebody is going to comment on this video and going to be like, yeah, I pulled them both out of one box, and we are all going to sit here and be like, Yeah. Okay. We're going to wrap it up right here, guys. Let me know what we want to do with this series. Do we want to do a 2021 version? Do we want to do a recap at the end of the year to see the overall year and to see what these prices that we had a look at today have done? Let me know, and I'm going to see you guys on the next video. We got a lot of new stuff coming up. We got Pokemon Go dropping. Definitely look forward to some coverage on that. I got a couple ideas in my mind that I want to work out too. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe for more. Leave a like and a comment, and I will catch you on the next.